Hello, and welcome to manalooping 101. I'm going to go through the build at a steady pace here. I'm going to go a little fast because I don't have a lot of time, but hopefully we can get everything explained. If there's any questions left over, do leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. If there's a lot of questions left over, maybe we'll do a follow-up video on like a Q&A thing for like, you know, patching weird stuff in the build or weird stuff in the loop or anything that struggles for people. All right. So this is manalooping. It looks like this. You might think it looks pretty silly. You'd be correct. It is pretty silly. Effectively, it lets you do stuff like this with passage, and it lets you spam the hell out of bombardment, and it lets you do a lot of damage, and it lets you have millions of conviction. Many more than this. All right. So what am I doing? Well, we are using Oxumaré with Never-Ending Cycle. And Never-Ending Cycle, what it does is it gives you a 1-second reset to all active cooldowns when you gain an agility orb or a power orb. Ignore the agility orb thing. Agility orbs kind of suck. They kind of suck. And ignore that my Constellation tree isn't fully spec'd. Later we'll go through the full tree and kind of what to do with it. We'll go through it later. But for now, this is all that matters. 1 second every time you gain an orb. We don't care about agility orbs because you gain them on killing an enemy or hitting a boss, which is conditional, and we don't like conditionals. Instead, we use power orbs. Power orbs let you gain one every 820 mana spent total. So if you spend less than 820, but you do it twice, and you like, let's say you spend 410 mana 2 times, you will have spent 820, and then you'll gain an orb. This means this also goes the other way. So you can also spend 1640 mana and gain 2 orbs. You can gain orbs while you're at your max, but you will not go above your max. But you can gain orbs at that state. Okay, so this means you can always gain orbs as long as you keep spending mana. Now, how does that look? We're going to put a cooldown on, just a 25-second cooldown on Vengeance. And then I'm going to cast a skill. The skill that I use is Judgment, because Judgment has no cast time at all. So you can spam it at game tick if you have Oxumaré running. Where is it? This here, running. And you get it running by gaining orbs. And orbs are gained to 820, so you need mana cost above 820. That's the logic. You can get Judgment above 820 in a multitude of ways. One is just level the skill. It'll go above 820. At the level 6, I believe. If you don't have skill cost reduction anywhere. So not on your relics, and preferably not on your skill tree either. Then, the other way to do it is to get skill mana cost on relics. I have 3 of these, so one here, and one here. These let us get Judgment to a multiple of 820. I am at the 3rd breakpoint, so 3 times 820. I'm actually a bit above. But we're at least that. So we get at least 3 seconds off of every cooldown every time we press Judgment. This means if we turn Prayer of Vengeance on without the loop, so I'm just going to myself. I'm just going to go down on mana really, really quick so you can see the cooldown jump. Okay? Turning on the cooldown. There. So you see it went down by like, what was that? We'll do it at 10 seconds and we'll see what it goes down to. Here. Goes down by like 5 seconds in one cast here of everything, which is a bit weird. Admittedly, it should probably go down by more, but that's just how it is. Now, how can we ramp this? Well, if we could refill our mana every time it went down, that would be just great, because then we could loop it, right? If it just bounced back to full every time it went down. The thing is, we can't do that. Because there are skills that can give you mana back, and they are cooldown based. So if you just reset their cooldown before you run out of mana, GG, basically. So what we do is we do closed body recovers percentage of our mana on use. We use 2 of these. I have one here and one here. You just need enough mana recovery to offset the cost of resetting closed body with the cooldown tech. If you reset closed body at half your mana pool, then half your mana pool is all you need. Then you just need 50%. If you need 95% of your mana pool spent to reset closed body, then you need 95% recovery, and so on. I recommend getting a little bit above what you mathematically need. You can quickly do the math on it, but I recommend getting a bit above. Anyways, it looks like this when it's ramping. So I can do this because I've just, for the video here and some other stuff on stream, just set up a script that holds these 2 buttons down so that I can explain things while it goes. Anyhow, so it's running. It holds these 2 buttons down. We're getting cooldown. Now, if we click Prayer of Vengeance, you'll see our 25-second cooldown is turning into like a half second, 0.2. Not very much. Not quite 0.2. Maybe like 0.4 seconds or something. Pretty short. All right. Now, Prayer of Vengeance is, of course, not the only skill we can do this to. We can do this to anything with a cooldown. Now, not all skills with a cooldown are instant casts. One example is Bell. It has a cast time. That means this is peak Bell cast speed. It does not go higher. It doesn't matter how much cooldown reduction you have. It does not go higher. Meteor kind of has the same issue. It just has a speed that it has a speed limit. But there are skills with no speed limit. One of them is Passage, which is just brilliant. Another one is Slow Time, which is also kind of funny, because that lets us do this. Another one is, and you can play around with these for yourself to find all of them. The one I like to do it with is Bombardment, because Bombardment you can turn into a Plague skill, and Plague skills are really good in this game because they get Wither and Blighted, and Wither and Blighted are great ailments. They freeze and they slow. So we're going to take a bunch of Plague nodes once we start filling out the tree here. Okay. So for relics, we've shown the mana cost, we've shown the tech, we've shown the recoup, we understand the loop. We're good. Okay? Now, how do we optimize? Well, we can stack mana, which means we get more conviction, because we get our whole mana pool gained as conviction every time we cast Closed Body. So stacking stuff like percent increased mana is going to be really good for you. Stacking the conviction decay resistance is good for you. Stacking damage to blighted and withered implicits are good. This one has life. That's not optimal. We were doing some low life shenanigans earlier. That's also good. You can do that on this build too if you want to. It's just a bunch of things you can really do. Honestly, it's mostly just you get the loop running, and from there on, the world's your oyster. Do what you want. Everything's probably going to be pretty good. So Passage is the big meme skill. We can go down here and we can see how quickly we could get to like the Act 1 kind of entrance. So 3, 2, 1, go. We're there. All right. All you do is hold down Passage. You can just kind of run around like this. You can also take your mouse close to your character, and then it's kind of controllable. If you're wondering if this does a lot of damage, the answer is yes. Yes, it does. It does a ton of damage. It's very good. Let me see. Is there anything else on my list of things I need to remember? We need to remember. We've explained cooldown. We've explained mana. We need to do Bombardment, Passage, Lamau, Relic. So I have pretty bad relics. Like, it's kind of just okay. You go for percent mana relics as much as you can to get more conviction. The reason we stack conviction is 1, tank. We're spending Closed Body, so we might as well. And the second thing is you can use Written Promise, which gives conviction as damage. Now, when you have millions of conviction, it gives you a substantial amount of damage. Large amount of damage to spells. So we can now use this with any spell. You can use Silver Bullets. I have this in because it gives conviction, gain flat mana, and percent mana. Not because it's Silver Bullets. But it's nice because if I want to test marksman skills, I can do that. This also works. Again, you have a lot of conviction, so you can spam marksman skills. I don't actually know how marksman skills look on this build. We can take Split Shot out real quick and just try and shoot it. Also has a speed limit. Sad. And it bricks the loop. We can't cast Judgment while we're using this. Sad. Sad, sad, sad. No Split Shot. Goodbye. How about Repeater? Sad. No Repeater. Bombardment works. Bombardment is brilliant. This is the skill I recommend. I also recommend Passage because it's funny. Alright. So, quickly, let's get this tree out of the way, the bell tree. My bell tree looks like this. We have just soul stones to farm. Blah, blah, blah. You know, portal because it's good. Mana, 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 conviction. The stuff that matters is mana and conviction all the way here. Take the base crit. Make sure you don't take this node. This node might mess with your breakpoints. This isn't good. Once your loop is running, you basically just want as much max mana as possible. There's conviction for mana spent, which is decent, not essential. You get so much flat from closed body that it way overperforms conviction for mana spent. Like overperforms it. It just does so much more. Conviction decay resistance is maybe your most important stat, and then conviction gain, second most important stat you get on this tree apart from mana. All right. Constellation. I'm going to show you really quickly how I spec my constellation tree. My constellation tree looks a little bit weird. If you try to spec this, you'll notice you can't. You can't actually get to this node and not have these two filled. It won't happen. I'll show you now. So I'm just going to bring my handy dandy constellation picture up on the other screen so I can remember everything to click. You start by taking just a bunch of nodes, and you'll notice if I spec like I had before, which was like this, I actually haven't unlocked anything. I can't take this one. I can't take this one. I can't take the one down here. I can't take these nodes. I'm kind of shit out of luck. So if I just press confirm now, it's not happening. What we do instead is we full spec these, and we keep the points just floating. We can unspec, respec with right click, left click. Now, spec further. Spec the ones we actually have filled on the final tree, which happen to be these three. This one, and this one. Now we can do point optimization. So now we can unspec. And start speccing the nodes we actually care about. Which is just crit multi, agility stuff for fun, for movement speed, plague damage. Agility stuff is both for movement speed. It's also for crit damage per agility orb, which is why we do max agility orb. There's a bunch of other stuff you can then do. You can go for... let me think here. Let me think. We have 2 points left. So before I had them here, I think what you do with these 2 points is you just kind of put them here for wither build-up rate and stun build-up rate. You can really put these anywhere you like. You can put them in agility. You can put them in life. You can put them in blighted enemies have chance to miss. You can fill this tree out. You can put them in spell damage down here, which I think is actually what we're going to do. Just take these here. Take spell skill damage. You can do anything. But that's how you spec the tree. And then you confirm. Get all the points, then spec the tree. All right. I do believe that's everything explained. Now, people are going to want to see a boss kill just because it's a build in an ARPG. The damage is yes. I have an old boss kill from a previous version of the build. We were doing some low life stuff. It wasn't optimal. Now we're not. It's okay for damage, but it's a little bit annoying to play. Mostly because every time you level up, you refill your HP, which ruins your low life, and then you have to sit here and dash into a wall for a little bit to go back to low life. So here, I forget to do it. So we're playing like low life, and it doesn't matter. I'm just going to pause the music because that's going to DMCA me. And then there's the boss kill. And that's it. All right. There you go. There's the guide. I think we've shown everything. We've gone through skills, relics, you use spells, how the loop works, everything to do, and maybe you even learned the constellation trick. That'd be cool if you didn't know that already. Here you go. It's very fun. Enjoy Hell Clock. Drop by the stream. It's above my webcam, the actual stream tag thing if you want to. Otherwise, just enjoy the build and leave a like. Enjoy. Hope you like the build. Have fun.